the last couple of Elite Dangerous videos, where I've been sort of doing guides for newcomers and relative newcomers. I figured that since I am currently at a particular site, I would also cover Thargoid Barnacle sites, not least because I know that at least one relative newcomer is currently at such a site. So yeah, what to do at these areas. So we'll start by showing you where we actually are. So we are in the system Hyades sector AQ-Y D81. Give you an idea of where or how far away that is. We take a look at it relative to Sol. Sol is 271 light years away, so it's not a huge distance really. And if we look at the system map, you can see this is quite a big old system. There are a lot of planets here and you know, various space bodies to scan, so it will have its value there as far as, you know, the number of planets to map. But the particular planet we are interested in is this one, planet C2. Now the drawback is that it is 131,821 light seconds away from the entry point of the system, so you're in for a long flight. So if you are going to come here, it's probably best to you know, make sure there's a reasonable amount of stuff that you want to do while you are here. Not least have a ship with a reasonable amount of cargo space. So we look at the locations. It shows 8 human locations. That is actually just referring to the 8 fleet carriers in the area, one of which is mine, because yeah, I'm not going to fly 131,000 light seconds, and I don't have to. I can just send my fleet carrier and have it orbiting this planet straight away. So anyway, yeah, so the 8 human locations aren't that important. It's these ones here, the Thargoid locations. There are 3 of them. They are all Thargoid Barnacles, and I am at Thargoid Barnacles Site 3. So yeah, that's where I am. So if you're coming here for the first time, obviously scan the system, map any planet that you deem, you know, valuable enough to map, but make sure you map this planet, planet C2. Once you've done that, and then I think you have to get a bit, you know, fairly close to it, and then the Thargoid Barnacle sites will appear. So yeah, there's 3 sites, and this site 3 is the largest of them by a fair distance actually. So why would you come to a Thargoid Barnacle site other than a bit of sightseeing? Well, there's 3 reasons really for coming here. The first is probably also the least important, and that is to collect raw materials for, you know, engineering and for synthesis. I say it's the least important because you can get raw materials from any planet you can land on. But at least with a site like this, you know, there are going to be a lot of them in, you know, a comparatively small area, and they're going to be easy to find. You won't have a clue what ones they are. I don't know if it is random. I don't think it is, but nevertheless, it's, you know, it's difficult to predict. Also, if we just go back to the map, it's obviously going to be ones with planet materials. You see the planet material list at the bottom here, so it's obviously going to be materials that you will only find on this planet. So yeah, there'll be all of those. Planet next to it, yeah, that has some different ones there. Not many different ones actually by the looks of it, but there you go. So anyway, that materials list, that will be the materials that you'll find here at this site. So that's one reason. The second reason is Codex Entries. Every Barnacle site in the game will net you at least 2 Codex Entries. This particular one will net you 4, possibly 5 if a Thargoid interceptor should show up. If it does, don't panic, it's not coming after you. This is essentially a Thargoid refueling station. So yeah, so Codex Entries will certainly, you know, so you can get 5 of them at this particular, no, 4 of them. We definitely get 4 of them at this site. Could get more. And then the third reason is by far the biggest reason, the main reason. Meta-alloy harvesting. Meta-alloys are pretty valuable, and I think there's only one station in the game that sells it. It's one of the planetary bases in Maya. I think it's Darnell's Progress, something like that. They will sell it for somewhere in the region of 250,000, and they only ever have quantities of 1. So your best bet is to come to a site like this and get them for nothing. If you get them, then yeah, they are pretty valuable. They're also quite useful. If a Thargoid interceptor should scan your ship out in space while you have a meta-alloy in the in your cargo hold, it sort of sends it a bit doolally. It's like it gets an enormous fucking buzz off the thing and some like major high. So he'll scan you and then he'll sort of like let out this sort of like long sort of and it's fucking buzzing off its tits for a bit, and it gives you an extra few seconds to piss off if you need or want to. My tests so far suggest that it also does something else, but I want to you know, confirm that before I will make any sort of announcement. Other reasons to get meta-alloys, if you are just starting out in engineering, the first engineer would be Felicity Farseer, and you have to give her a meta-alloy before she will do any engineering for you. So here's where they are. Well, here's one place where they are. So let's jump into the SRB and head on out into this Barnacle site itself. Now it does look pretty dark here, despite the fact that I think this is daylight. The Thargoid sites are always covered in this sort of faint sort of greenish mist. So yeah, that's why the light doesn't get to it very well. Now when you're in your SRV, the first thing you want to check, especially if you're here for Codex Entries, is in your fire groups. Now by default, your composition scanner here hasn't been given a firing group. So I set up a second firing group with composition scanner as your right mouse button, but still using the dual repeater. Not entirely sure why, because you have to change mode to analysis mode to use the composition scanner. But straight away, we're already right next to 2 things that you can scan for Codex Entries. So this sort of barb thing here, you can scan that. That will give you a first Codex entry. Then there is one of the barnacles themselves. You can scan that. That will give you a second Codex entry. Also need to make sure that you're in range. And then if we get to the centre of this area, you'll see here this extremely large barnacle. So you scan that, that gets you your third Codex entry. If we take a look at the Codex, they appear under the geological and biological section under organic structures, and yeah, they're right here. Thargoid barnacles. So common barnacle, that's the smaller one I scanned. The large one, that's the centre one I've just this second done. And then any of the barbs that are surrounding it, that will get you that entry there. So that's 3 Codex entries straight away. The fourth that you can definitely get at this site is if you scan a scavenger. The scavengers are these things here. There's some weird sort of like Thargoid automaton almost. But if we bring up the turret, there you go. So we scanned him, Thargoid scavenger. That scanned, that will give you your 4th Codex entry. And they appear under xenological, Thargoid objects, Thargoid scavenger. There you go. So those are the 4 Codex entries that you can definitely get at this site. But I'm not here for Codex entries, I'm here for meta-alloys. So where are they? Well, we're back to these barb things again. If you look at this one here, you can see these 2 sort of like polyp-like growths that are growing from it. And if we fire at it, see one's just flown away there. That is one of the raw materials, that is carbon. And you can pick that up. Now there are countless fucking of these barbs with these sort of growths on them, which you can, so you fire away at. And there you go. That one is manganese. There's another one distance. I mean, I am completely maxed out on raw materials, so it's always going to tell me that I'm, full. So that's nickel there. So yeah, that's the raw materials. Getting those from these barbs, but it's also these barbs where you find meta-alloys. Now I always get them from this site in a particular order. So the first one I go to is here. You'll notice this barb here has what looks like a very large polyps growth there. So a load of polyps. If you didn't predict that line coming, then yeah, there really is no hope for you. Anyway, so we shoot that. Target it, mining fragment, underneath meta-alloys. So we pick that up. There's a second one around the large central barnacle. Here it is. Now sometimes when they get blasted clear, they can land in some really fucking awkward places. I'm doing okay so far. So there we go. Now your SRV can only hold 2. So once you got those 2, we need to take them back to the ship. So let's quickly do that. Now this particular site has 6 meta-alloys can harvest from it. I think there is a site that has 7. The fact that I don't know for sure tells you that I've never been there. So yeah, I keep coming to this one. Now as you can see, I already have 174 metal alloys, so I've done this a few times already. But anyway, that's those 2 handed in. Let's go and grab the next 2. Now the next one is very close to where my ship is landing. You can already see it. There we go. Blast almost sent it in the fucking orbit. Right, got that one. The next one is over here. There it is. Grab that. Again, got 2 in the cargo hold. And you can drop them off on the ship again. What the fucking hell was that? Alright, last 2. Last 2 for this instance anyway. So we go past the large central barnacle. We have this one. And then the final one, you can already see it in the background. Now this one can be a bit awkward because the scavengers do have a habit of congregating around it. Now scavengers will, you know, if you ignore them, they will ignore you. They'll just completely leave you alone. But if you should shoot one, either accidentally or on purpose, and there are others in the area that see it, because they're close by, they will all start ganging up on you and firing on you. If you do destroy scavengers, and you know they're not tough, I don't like destroying them. They don't do me any harm, so why should I do them any harm? But if you do destroy them, they do drop additional Thargoid related materials. If you're going after engineers, they do drop sensor fragments, which you will need. The other materials that they drop, as far as I can tell, are useless in engineering, but you will need them in synthesis. So yeah, so that's additional materials on top of the raw materials that you get from destroying the barbs, or the ones with the growths on them. Yeah, you'll also get Thargoid related materials from destroying the scavengers. So that is the 6 metal alloys at this location all picked up. But I don't want just 6. So what you have to do is exit the main menu and then reload the game, and it resets the instance. Now this only works if you're here on your own. If there is anyone else here, you leave the instance and come back, it takes you back to the same instance. So if you are here and you normally play in open or in a private server that has a downside more players in it than mine does, you might want to think about playing solo while you're here, just to make sure that when you save and exit and then reload, it really will be it really will reset the instance there. So we'll start again with the first two metal alloys that are near the large central barnacle. I was semi-hoping that a Thargoid interceptor would show up to refuel. Like I say, when they do show up, they refuel from that central barnacle that I'm just leaving. They will shut your SRV down, but the power returns to it, and you can move about while while the Thargoid is still refueling. You can then use your composition scanner to add the Thargoid to your Codex Entries. And the Thargoid again will completely ignore you, but don't get too close to the central barnacle while it is refueling, because there is an enormous sort of like updraft from the whatever system it's using to refuel. And if you get caught in it, it will drag you up with it, and you will stay sort of like stuck around the underside of the Thargoid until it switches off that refueling system, and then you drop like a fucking stone. And SRVs are pretty fragile, so yeah, you could be in for a world of serious damage, or you could even leave a nice crater there as your SRV explodes. So yeah, stay away from the central barnacle while a Thargoid is refueling. That's why I always go for the two metal alloys that are right next to the central barnacle, so that then if an interceptor does turn up, I don't need to go too close to it anyway, because I've already got the two metal alloys that are growing around it. So we'll grab the last two, just to give you, slightly better idea as to where the metal alloys all are here. It's not randomly generated, they're always going to be in the same place, so if you just make a mental note of where it is I'm heading and where the metal alloys are, and it won't take you too long to soon memorise exactly where you need to go. So the last one then is over here. And there we go, 186 metal alloys. Job done. Right, well, there you go. That's a quick guide to Thargoid Barnacle sites. Wasn't that fun? Now go away.